Coming up tonight on VCU InSight, we hear directly from Richmond voters on where they stand on the upcoming casino referendum. A VCU political science professor analyzes the upcoming election. We'll hear what Dr. Kina has to say. And some college students are heading to the polls for the first time. We'll tell you what you need to know to make voting go smoothly. All this and more, VCU InSight starts right now. Hello, I'm Peyton Wilson, and this is VCU InSight. With all State House and Senate seats up for grabs, the vote for a Richmond casino on the table, and local school boards and supervisors being voted on next Tuesday, the last few days of early voting are here. InSight reporter Damon Hollenshed is at one of the early voting locations with details on how voters can assure their voices are heard.
I'm at North Courthouse Road Library, one of the 5 libraries here in Chesterfield that is offering early voting to the community. In addition to the 5 libraries, Chesterfield residents can head down to the General Registrar's office also to cast their votes. For the next 3 days, Richmond and other local county residents can cast their vote ahead of Election Day for who they want elected. Voters should first check their voter registration through the VA Department of Elections, and all they need to bring to their location is their ID. If a voter wants to vote early, however, can't make in-person voting, absentee by mail ballots are also being accepted. Curbside voting for seniors and those with disabilities are also available options. Richmond voters can vote early at Richmond City Hall and the Hickory Hill Community Center. For specific times and locations, contact your local registrar's office. Reporting from Chesterfield, for VCU InSight in the newsroom at VCU, I'm Damon Hollenshed.
We're hearing from a VCU political science professor about this election season. Topics include voter turnout and Virginia's political future on the national stage. InSight reporter Mario Navarro is at the General Assembly building with more.
Thank you, Payne. With the election around the corner, CNS reporters had a chance to sit down with VCU political science professor Dr. Alex Kina to talk about pressing matters coming to this year's polls.
With the pivotal election coming this Tuesday, Dr. Kina expresses what is driving voters to the polls.
What issues are driving people to the polls is kind of different than what issues the campaigns are emphasizing. I think the campaigns are focusing a lot on cultural wedge issues. It's hard to know what people are really focusing on.
With political campaigns and voters not being on the same page about major issues, Dr. Kina makes note on how this affects voter turnout in this crucial election.
One of the problems is that people aren't really paying attention all that much. We're in an election where there's no statewide office on the ballot. There isn't any federal office on the ballot. So we have these elections once every 4 years. There's no governor to have coattails to help boost turnout. And so historically, these have been low turnout elections.
Even with low turnouts projected for this election, there are many important matters to decide according to Dr. Kina, some of which CNS questions such as data centers, gun control, climate change, and substance abuse. On top of the election needing to cover all of these high priority issues, this election is an indicator on the political future of Virginia, as well as a movement into the national scene.
Republicans managed to sweep and control the Senate. That looks really good for Youngkin. Youngkin can then go to the national party and say, hey, I flipped a blue state, and now we have complete control of the General Assembly.
Reporting for VCU InSight in the newsroom at VCU, my name is Mario Navarro.
The divide between Richmond voters increases over one of this year's hottest topics on the ballot. InSight's Riley Matthews gives us more on how Richmond voters are rolling the dice on a new casino.
Richmond voters are preparing to cast their vote on a referendum that would allow developers to build a Richmond Grand Resort and Casino right here on Richmond's South Side.
The casino first appeared on the ballot back in 2021 and was narrowly struck down by voters. The referendum was then reintroduced by City Council in May of this year, this time around sticking to the promise to ensure over 1,000 jobs for Richmonders. However, that promise is not enough for voters like Suleiman Al-Karim.
Help is going to create jobs, but do you know how many households it's going to corrupt? How many murders going to occur? How many robberies going to occur?
According to the Virginia Public Access Project, the developers of this project Urban One and Churchill Downs have funneled over $8 million into the Richmond Wins Vote Yes campaign. Their counterparts, No Means No Casino, have raised over $200,000. The campaign has featured a high volume of door-to-door canvassing and informational meetings. The pro-casino committee believes these could win them the votes for the $500 million project this time around. Richmond voter Albert Robertson Jr. is hoping for just that.
Already gambling, right? In the local stores on the corner, they got gambling machines in there, right? But we want to make sure that it creates some jobs. The corner store gambling spots are not creating jobs for us at all.
Reporting from Richmond with VCU InSight in the newsroom at VCU, I'm Riley Matthews.
We will have more with the final decision on the referendum here on VCU InSight next Thursday. For many college students, this is the first election where they will cast a ballot. InSight reporter Bridget Kelly is taking a look at how political science class at VCU is making sure students are ready for November 7th.
Right, VCU students, part of the VCU Votes class, are handing out incentives to other VCU students who may not have a plan when it comes to voting.
Make a plan to vote, win a gift card.
Today, the class is having people on campus complete a survey, ensuring their voting plan for a chance to win a $25 Target gift card. VCU Votes has gotten almost 100 students registered to vote this semester.
College students in general, and especially VCU students, are really highly motivated to vote. They're very interested in politics and know that the outcomes of elections are important to them, their lives, and their families. But the problem comes in with following through the voting plan.
Their mission is to ease any anxiety first-time voters may experience through hands-on education, like handing out pamphlets and communicating with VCU students. But the class wants you to know that if you aren't registered, you're still able to vote by registering at your polling location on Election Day and casting a provisional ballot there. To find your polling place, head to the Virginia Department of Elections website. Reporting in Richmond for VCU InSight and the newsroom at VCU, I'm Bridget Kelly.
And for some college students, figuring out where to cast a ballot may be confusing. VCU Capitol News Service reporter Holly Ann Purvis is in the studio with more to know.
Experts say college students are among the largest voting bloc, yet have the lowest turnout in elections. November 7th is Election Day in Virginia, so here's what college students need to know. Students can vote in one of two places and should consider where they will be voting in the election. They can vote at their permanent residence or in their district when away at school. Saturday, November 4th is the last day of early in-person voting, and provisional ballots will be available. One form of voter identification is required to vote. This can also be a student ID. Voter registration can be checked on the Virginia Department of Elections website. Reporting for CNS and the newsroom at VCU, I'm Holly Ann Purvis.
Virginians will not only be voting for General Assembly seats on Election Day, there are school board seats on the ballot as well. VCU Capitol News Service reporter Emily Richardson takes a look at why these races may be all too political.
Nearly 600 candidates across the state are vying for just over 200 district school board seats. Although school board candidates run as independents, many races are contested and some candidates are endorsed by political parties. Former Superintendent Marcus Newsom says some candidates focus their run on political issues rather than improving teaching and learning in schools.
A lot of the issues that we hear aren't issues we see that teachers are involved in with the core instruction. It's quite troubling because in the end, when we get involved in these political divides, the children are the ones to get hurt most.
Newsom also suggests that the increasingly politicized nature of school board races might deter some potential candidates from running. Reporting for CNS and the newsroom at VCU, I'm Emily Richardson. Back to you, Peyton.
The toughest short track in the South may be planning a comeback. VCU InSight reporter Mario Navarro is at the Southside Speedway with more on the county's plans to rev up the historic site.
Almost 3 years removed from human activity, the Southside Speedway seemed down and out. The 41-acre speedway closed its doors during the COVID pandemic in 2020, but was purchased in 2021 for about $4 million by Chesterfield Economic Development. The closing seemed like it was for good, but a petition with 10,000 signatures from Chesterfield residents has brought a call for saving this beloved attraction.
I like racing. I love it.
James O'Hanlon, a Chesterfield resident with a strong connection to the Speedway, has hope the track can make a comeback.
I hope that they bring it back. The same thing happened to a racetrack from my hometown.
Yeah.
They tore down and built apartments.
For O'Hanlon, keeping the track goes beyond personal enjoyment.
Just being near it, I like the people that it brings.
Yeah.
And like, there's a Sheetz right down the road too, so like that'll bring money to everything around it too.
Even though the speedway behind me has gone quiet, the roar from the community have not gone unheard. It has actually caught in the eye of Chesterfield Economic and Development offices, where the future of the speedway is actually being reconsidered.
The director of Chesterfield Economic Development says plans revolving around the track is to bolster another prominent attraction in the area.
With River City Sports Complex being next door to it, we are looking for opportunities to have people enjoy more entertainment, more recreation, possibly hotels and hospitality events that they could attend while they were attending River City Sports Complex.
Hart did not completely rule out the possibility of the Speedway returning as a racetrack, as they are still fielding proposals.
Always been to redevelop it into a sustainable business model, and if that included racing, that was fine.
But only time will tell if the community's plans line up with the plans of the Chesterfield Economic and Development offices. Reporting for VCU InSight in the newsroom at VCU, I'm Mario Navarro.
The hope is a decision regarding the raceway's future will be made by the end of the year. Students within VCU's new media production program are applying what they're learning in the classroom and turning it into a documentary. InSight reporter Jason Tejeda Lonina has more on this unique opportunity and how it's turning into something these students are proud of.
Growing through the motions brings to light both the challenges and fulfillment of university life. According to VCU student Isaac Martin, technology plays a key role in our relationships with one another.
There are tens of thousands of videos about I guess, the new standard that we're kind of coming to as a generation and as a people.
The project follows 3 undergrads and also serves as a bridge between students and the faculty that guides them. Growing through the motions is how 410 Productions is spreading the word on the budding program, while also showing viewers just how strong this generation can be. According to VCU student Ashley Miller, this generation needs space to grow.
If you give us the space, if you give us the freedom, look at what we can do. Look at where we can take the world.
The production company plans on screening the documentary this semester. Reporting for VCU InSight in the newsroom at VCU, I'm Jason Tejeda Molina.
A Richmond nonprofit is making a big difference to improve the lives of families in need. I'm taking a look at the diaper bank to see how Little Hands Virginia is running their initiative.
So Little Hands is a nonprofit that provides essentials to young children in need of support in the greater Richmond region. We serve kids 0 to 3 years old, making sure that they have the items that they need from birth to improve outcomes for life. So over the last year, Little Hands has really taken on the role of the diaper bank for our community, recognizing that there is a lot of diaper need. Post-COVID, there's a new survey out from the National Diaper Bank Network showing that 1 in 2 families report experiencing diaper need now today. So need in our community matches that of nationwide. We set a really ambitious goal of 200,000 diapers to wipe out diaper need in our community. If we reach that goal, our diaper bank shelves will be full for the rest of the year. Our volunteers will get them all ready to go and get them on our shelves to help us fill our diaper bank orders for the next couple of months.
I've always liked helping children, especially those in need. I do work with the diapers. I also handle the donations that come in, cleaning them up, sorting them out, doing whatever we need to do with those. And then I also prepare when the social workers request, I prepare those requests, get them all bagged up and labeled and ready to go out so they can get to the families.
We work with all different types of partners from across the region. It's everything from social services and departments of health to all of the hospitals in the region, the family homeless shelters. We also partnered with Richmond Public Schools to make sure all of their food distribution sites had diapers, formula, baby food, and some other hygiene items. And any of our 70 partners can request diapers in bulk from us. They then help distribute them out to the community.
Little Hands Virginia is always accepting donations and looking for volunteers. You can find more information for both on their website. Let's take a look at the weather this weekend. Friday will be mild and sunny with highs in the low 60s. Saturday will also be sunny and warmer with highs in the upper 60s. You can check out the latest edition of VCU InSight on Thursday afternoon on our YouTube channel. For VCU InSight, I'm Peyton Wilson.